Good day, everyone, and welcome to Different Stages Radio. I'm your host, JJ, and on today's show, we have two members, Manu and Nico, from the band The Old Dead Tree, who are about to release their brand new album, their first album in 17 years, called Second Thoughts. It's coming out on December 6th through Season of Mist Records. Please welcome my guests, Manu and Nico. How are both of you?
We're fine. How are you, JJ?
I'm fine, thank you. We got sun going on in Vancouver. What's going on in France today?
Um, we have a cloudy weather and the night is arriving slowly.
Still morning in my world. I just finished my coffee, so we're all good. So Second Thoughts is coming out on December 6th through Season of Mist. First album in 17 years. Has this been kind of percolating for a while, the band getting back together? Because it's not like you guys have been quiet for the last 13, 14 years. What's been going on for those who aren't aware?
The history of the band is quite complicated. We're an old band. We were created back in 1997. We released three albums until 2007, and in 2009 we stopped, but we remained friends. And even if we continued playing music in different projects, smaller projects than the older three, that had the band had quite a little success in Europe. We always remain friends, and we always try to gather from time to time to play music together for fun. And we released in 2019 a 5-title CD, which was composed with songs that were only demos when we stopped the band back in 2009. And the idea was to make a present to the fans and give them the very last song we composed. And so this CD called The End, which was supposed to be the real end for the band, was released on December 2019. And we had a dozen of gigs booked in France and Europe, and unfortunately COVID happened. So we had to deal with the cancellation of all the gigs we had, postponing first and then cancellation of all the gigs except for one, the gig we had in Paris, which was already sold out. And that gig kept us alive. Actually, it was postponed until 2022. And during this period of time, we talked a lot. We talked a lot about our friendship, about the music we played, the music we wanted to play, and some of the members really wanted the band to come together. And I was really afraid of this because when we split back in 2008, 2009, it was too painful, and I just didn't want to go back through that again. But he finally convinced me. So we played the gig in Paris. It was a great success, and we met a lot of fans coming from Scandinavia, from Germany, from Spain. Many people came to this gig, and we realized that we were important to some people, not as many as possible, but some people. And after that, the Hellfest, which is a very big festival in Europe, proposed us to play on the 2023 edition. And then we talked again with Season of Mist, our historical recording company, and yeah, things started to come together, and finally we let's go for an album. We finally got to this idea. Let's get it real.
But I'm hearing, you seem a little bit hesitant first. Was it up to the rest of the band to perhaps bribe you a bit? Just needed a bit more persuading? Did they have pictures or something? Is there some way that, you were like, I don't want to do this, but
I think Manuel is. Oh, sorry.
Go,
It's
go, go,
because
go.
Manuel always keep the band on the ground. He knows the reality of making music. We have to play together. That's the fun part, but there is lots of work, and he knows that uh, if we make a new album, it will be a huge work, a huge thing to do, and because it's really, you know, why the band split, and but the passion is bigger than that,
That's true.
and the music we want to compose, we try to know if our music now is good enough, it's great enough. Do we have something to say? And here we are.
Well, you definitely have something to say. We'll get to second thoughts in a moment because what I've heard so far, it's a thick, dense listen. But back to 2019 for a second, I'm getting this sense that at that time, with the package for the end, was that the intention to just kind of have a proper bookend at that time to put out that package, do a couple of shows as a thank you, and that was that? Was that kind of the plan at that point? So it wasn't sort of
Absolutely.
it wasn't like we're throwing some logs in the fire and see if anybody cares. It was like, let's just do a
Uh,
couple things and be done.
it could have been a good idea, but then we shouldn't have called it the end. I think, one of the reason I didn't want it to pull the band back together is that I didn't want it to sound really ridiculous, saying that, yeah, we released something called the end, and here we come again.
Well, wouldn't be the first time, but not for you guys, that's for sure. But anyways,
Yeah.
second thoughts, looking forward to it, December 6th. Unpredictable, the first single. I think that's a great song out of the gate for particularly those that were already on board and have been waiting years for new music from you. But I'm sure there's a ton of people globally who have never perhaps even heard of the old Dead Tree, or maybe have just heard of the
For
name in
sure.
passing. Do you feel that this
Yes.
is a good song to pull them in? And what can you tell people that have otherwise maybe have never heard of the old Dead Tree?
Now, I think that, maybe that's not a good way to present them. You're a band, but I don't think that we invent anything. We just arrange things our own way, but we try to stay as open-minded as possible when we compose new things. And if you like energy and sadness, I guess there always something a bit dark in our music, but um, you should find something in it. You should not be afraid of the growls, because there are some growls. You have not to be afraid of um, head vocals. That kind of vocals also very high. So the idea of the auditory is composing something with a lot of variety. We want things really different from each other, but we want the album to stay consistent. And that's the hardest part in composing our music, is to put ideas together, even if sometimes you should say that cannot fit together. The idea is that consistent and always different on each song.
And I'd say that's fair because there's definitely a lot of melody on the album as well as a lot of angst, but also a lot of dynamics as well. It's not a one-dimensional album. People I think really need to give this a thorough listen to really grasp all the variety on it. And a couple tracks that were standing out for me, as I just made a little note here. Fresh Start, I think is a great track. But then
Yeah.
getting into Without a Second Thought and The Light of Straw are just fierce. Like they're just great tracks. So once again, I think it's important that if somebody hears, maybe if all they've heard is Unpredictable so far, that there's definitely a lot more to listen to, and don't think just because
Oh,
you've heard
yes.
one track you have an idea of what the whole album is, because you don't.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. We always want to take the people who listen to our music, and we want to make them feel a lot of different things, like we are lot of have a lot of feelings, and I want to sometimes surprise them, sometimes make them angry or energetic. Or the goal is to make a trip with our music. Come with us for 1 hour maybe, and you live different feelings by listening this music. Yes, that's what we want to do live in this album. It's a trip.
As it should be. And to as you said, to come with you, and I think people can come with you next week. October 12th, you have a big show with Lacuna Coil, and then you have another big show later this month. Can you talk a bit about those and sell those shows to people?
Well, there's no need to sell the show with Lacuna Coil as it's already sold out. Yeah, we look forward to that because we never played with Lacuna Coil, and it's a band we've been following for the beginning. I guess I saw them on stage with Moonspell. It was for their first EP in Paris in a very small venue, and they got bigger and bigger, and they released some really, really good songs. So yeah, we're really excited about that. And the show in Paris is some kind of a warm-up show that we will headline. And so we will rehearse this weekend, especially for this. So I don't want to give too many secrets about the songs we're going to play because the album won't be nobody will know the album for in the totality of the album. Only 2 singles will have been released since then. So we want to mix real new things and old stuff too.
And we will play a very different show than the last one in Paris 2 years ago. Headlining show.
Yeah, which has yes.
Yes, we really want to play something different. Paris is our hometown, so a lot of people came each time, and we want to make each show different. So there is a lot of new things.
Well, that says a lot about you as a band willing to do that, because most bands, sadly, a lot of them just keep pumping and rehashing the same set. So the fact that you're putting that thought and consideration towards your fans, I think means a lot. So that's huge. That should be just an extra bonus draw for anybody coming out, that there's no fear of seeing the same performance again.
No. And also for us, it's a bit selfish too, because it's not really funny to play all the same songs all the time. You know, it's cool to change a bit.
Any plans of doing perhaps a album release show at home, or do you have other shows perhaps that might happen during the fall time?
Yeah, there should be a release party in Paris for on the day that the album will be released, but it's not confirmed yet. And we're working together with our booking agency to plan some other and some big shows on 2025. So if we're lucky, we will come to Vancouver. I would love that. But for now, we're just talking about Europe, unfortunately.
Okay. But North America is something we can perhaps hold on to as a possibility. Maybe not necessarily Vancouver, but even Vancouver would be great. But crossing the water is perhaps likely.
Maybe nothing is impossible.
Yeah, yes, sure. Nothing's impossible. Absolutely. Let's cross the finger about it.
Cross your fingers. Okay. So anyways, release party is something you're looking at towards having. The album once again comes out on December 6th. Second Thoughts. There's the vinyl edition has the track Terrified on it as a bonus, and that was a track that you performed, was it last year at Hellfest?
Yes, we released this track especially. This track was some kind of a test track for us. We wanted to see if we were able to compose for real a good song, a new good song. We wanted to try some of the new. We're an old band, as I told you, so we always worked as when gathering for real in a rehearsal studio. So we had to learn to work totally differently with the new tools that internet offers. So we had to test all of this with Terrified, and this song helped us promoting our show in the Hellfest. So we played under a very big tent. There was 10,000 people gathered there. So it was packed. And I think that the song helped a lot. And also, I think it convinced the recording company and it convinced the booking agency that we were there for real. So that's the point of Terrified.
Yourself, Nick, how do you feel?
Sorry?
I was asking how Nico
Sorry?
feels about it as well.
Oh.
Me,
Just
okay.
the track Terrified and how all that was received.
For me, Terrified is I'm pretty new in the band. It's only 5 years, but it's new. I'm the last one on the band, and for me, it was an opportunity to record the first track with the Old Tree, to help with these new tools that Manu talked about. Do I work in my home studio here, right here? It was a real test for me to record here with the band, and HK was producer of this track, and make my very first The Old song. And the first time I hear the song, Manu and the other Nicolas in the band writes this song, I was blown away by the energy of the song, by the song. I just love it. So it was a great experience, and to play it for the first time in front of all these people, it was a very intense experience, and that's why we want to put it on the record, on the video version, because it's just a great track, and it's bonus for the people who wants to support us and to buy the big version, the video version.
Awesome. So once again, December 6th, and where can people pre-order it other than seasonandmist.com? Can they get it through the band directly, through your website, or is there a Bandcamp set up?
On the Bandcamp store. On the Bandcamp is shared with the Season and Mist and us. So sometimes you will find the same product twice. But yes, they can order through the Bandcamp.
So I will be sure to include links for people to pre-order. I highly recommend everybody give Second Thoughts a chance. Very excited that the Old Dead Tree are back with perhaps new roots, shall we say? There's new roots and new branches to the Old Dead Tree. And I hope you have a blast at your show next week with Lacuna Coil. And this was fun. I think we should do it again sometime, maybe after the record comes out, and watch out for the Old Dead Tree album release party happening sometime, someplace in their hometown in early December. Thanks both to Manu and Nico. This is JJ, and this is Different Stages Radio.